During this period of creativity and expansion in the North from 2004 to 2012, magical things were also happening in Ecuador. With the need for oil, with the exploration of oil diminishing, the indigenous people there were able to focus their efforts and their energies to concentrate on building the future that they had, in fact, dreamed.
And we were also able, Pachamama Alliance was able to expand our work to include social and economic development projects. And we played a key role in a number of startup community-based ecotourism projects. And we supported indigenous-based education and healthcare initiatives, including the highly effective Jungle Mamas maternal health program, which many of you are aware of, which played a key role in elevating the role of women in Achuar territory.
And the country of Ecuador experienced a kind of a renaissance with our new president at that time, and in this time, Rafael Correa, who was experimenting with new ways to finance forest protection. And he was also overseeing the rewriting of the Constitution of Ecuador. And we have, at that time, the chance to bring a new idea about the new earth jurisprudence into this process. And once the indigenous people endorsed it, Ecuador became the first country ever to bring the legal rights of nature in its national constitution. That was a big one. Great things were happening for the earth, and the indigenous movement was also becoming ever more powerful. We were supporting with our legal team for over 10 years a case in the Inter-American Court, and the community of Sarayaku won a verdict that was setting great standards for all indigenous people in the region in order to control and defend their territory. Thank you, Sarayaku, and thank you, Pachamama, for this win.
And during this period, oil prices gradually climbed and reached a sustained level of over $100 a barrel. And then in 2012, the government announced a new round of oil development, essentially duplicating the failed plans from over a decade earlier. However, the indigenous people were ready, and they mounted an effective and well-coordinated campaign, even traveling overseas to protest at oil industry conferences. And due to the resistance of the indigenous people, the plans for auctioning off these oil blocks faltered again. It had practically no interest showed up from the petroleum industry.
Fundación Pachamama played a very important role in supporting the indigenous resistance. And retaliants for this, in 2013, December 2013, the government agents came into our office and shut down our doors. We were closed. That was a blow for us. But that was also an admission of the fail of the oil blocks expansion, and it was like a compliment for our work. Quickly, we recover our status of a small association, and we keep going working since then as before. We keep working with this work, so I'm really thankful for all your support through that time. That's it.
In a sort of poetic justice, just almost exactly a year after the offices were closed, oil prices plummeted by almost 50%. And with that, of course, also the economic justification for the oil round. It was almost as if Providence had intervened. And, you know, so now that the threat of oil is not completely dead, but the tide has definitely changed. It's turned, the tide has turned.
Great. So in recent years, this area where we have been working has been identified as the most biodiverse region of the entire Amazon basin, perhaps of the whole world. And it's seen as a source of spiritual connection directly to Pachamama. And it's being thought of as the sacred headwaters of the Amazon. And we didn't know the importance of this region when we started, but I think it makes sense now. We can see why the call from the forest would have come from here. So a whole new possibility is opening up for this region. The indigenous people are united and strong, and they've developed their own vision for the long-term protection of this area. And that's being reinforced by the global recognition of the critical role that the headwaters region of the Amazon plays in regulating the global climate. So conserving this region now turns out to be an extremely important initiative. We, the Pachamama Alliance, are in a somewhat privileged position to play a role in the emerging efforts to put the sacred headwaters of the Amazon into permanent protection for the future of life. And we're going to come back and talk about that a little bit more.